slotting into third place will be Nathan Harrison. And Jack Mabin seemed to get a good getaway as well. 1 or 2 on the grass, bit of contact on the extra Hall corner. And unfortunately, David, one in the barriers already.
Indeed so. So inevitably, I'm afraid, one got spat across the road, trying to work out which one he...
Right-hand side of the road rapidly to defend from Davidson in the 21 car. Now let's see if we can see what happens. It's the blue car gets sideways into one car, into another, and then as others take avoidance, there's just the tiniest of tags to the tail of Rory Cuff's number 12 car. So contact with at least 2 other cars and the barriers would go some way, David, to explaining the amount of damage on that. The top 4 car single file, but Nathan Harrison trying to fight back up the inside for 5th place and will do it. And Dan Zelos sees his chance to get up the inside of Keenan Dole as well. And Dole is elbowed out over the grass, bounces his way back on, and I think that Newman will go through as well. Reinstated as the leader. This is, it wasn't a Nickelbrook, I beg your pardon, it was actually Cascades that George Collado had gone off by mistake. From that angle it looked a bit like the exit of the chicane. An opportunity to overtake James Gornall, which he probably didn't expect to be having early on in the race, and there's the move at Druid's corner, and Jack Mabin goes through. There's a touch, there's a lean, James Gornall follows him straight by, and Jack Mabin in forceful fashion takes the race lead away at Druid's corner. Gornall goes 2nd, Harrison goes 3rd, Zelos elbows his way through into 4th, and King's on the grass, and that means he'll be 5th or maybe 6th at the end of this this second lap of racing. Let's see if we can catch it on the replay.
And that was the
pass. I didn't see the number. Whoever it was, they've rejoined, but I want to say possibly Richard Newman, but that's yeah, and Lee Patterson looking to try and follow through, but there's no room at the end. Oh, Mabin back on the inside. That was a really good move there for Jack Mabin. Clean as a whistle as well, until they lean on each other on the exit of the corner. That was nearly a repeat of what we saw earlier on today, and this is all going to benefit Lee Patterson, who gets a double slipstream, gets a significantly better run out of the corner. They might even be 4 wide by the time they reach Riches, because Callum King is thinking about joining in the fun as well. Someone had to be in the boonies. 2 of them are off, and bang, into the barriers goes Jack Mabin. And I think it was Jack Davidson, wasn't it, that was sideways as well? Yes, it was there. That is not so much damage to the car, although it clearly is not in showroom condition, but I'm more concerned in a way about the damage to the barrier. Jack Mabin, though, is out of the car. Let's see what the replay tells us here, Graham.
And
there was no contact.
No contact there.
No.
There was contact between the luckless number 7, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but I think that's probably because he checked up seeing what make cars.
47 on the outside, contact with the front of the 12. Makes that move stick there, and Kelly, and again, no. That always looked like it was going to happen.
James McIntyre on the grass, I think for the 2nd time this race, isn't he? I seem to remember seeing him off in the early stages as well. That time, though, we definitely saw he was assisted. Race winner, I think, having finished 5th in the previous race. And there, the 2nd of the yellow cars, the yellow car with the white flashes, is James Gornall. There's a car off further back, and that's an odd place for that car to end up. That was someone just outside the top 10. Patterson, who sets the fastest lap. Oh, sideways there for Callum King in 2nd place. Can he hold on to it? Yes, he can, but he loses all of his momentum, and Patterson will go through. So Patterson into 2nd, Davidson's going to go through into 3rd.
You're absolutely right. That pack behind is catching this pack and is catching it.
That's Dole. Keenan Dole's off the race leader. He's clattered into the tyre stack as well. And Jack Davidson, I think, has taken to the grass in avoidance, but has rejoined with the race lead. Established order up into the air. And
clattered it.
How unfortunately. He was only a little bit sideways, wasn't he, at first, and then tagged the barrier, and that did the job properly. Ben Palmer then gave him a shoulder barge as he was trying to rejoin, but in about 2.5 corners. Here's the replay, and oh, yes, it was. It was Brown and Palmer. You're quite right. Gornall was nipping through on the inside, or defending on the inside line. And then a double spin further back. One of those cars, I fear, might be the 45 car again, possibly. Before the race even began, he held the lead, though, did Keenan Dole, whilst behind a few cars were in strife before the race had really got underway, with lots of people struggling in the slippery conditions. At the head of the field, though, Callum King was in 2nd position for a while in the number 4 and fell outside of the top 10. Lee Patterson had a few moments as well. He ran out wide over the grass, whilst Callum King had another spin down at the complex, dislodging the front bumper in the process. Let's hope they all get through safely. It's a nice wide circuit, but they all want the same bit of it, which is where we can sometimes get some issues. And look at
there you go.
And there we go. There's contact down into Maggots. Who was that getting sideways? That might have been Nathan Harrison.
I think it was. Nathan didn't make the greatest getaway. He just about held his 4th place on the grid, but he got nudged there just as they're starting to get off the throttle onto the brakes. The car shifted shifting its weight all onto the nose, and he got a little tag from behind from Dan Zelos, and I'm not sure that the stewards are going to look very favourably on that. Trouble behind.
Ooh, lots of trouble.
Yes, 2 more cars off, and I rather fear that we might have our first safety car of the day puncture there as well, but that doesn't narrow it down that much. It was Ben Palmer. I did think he was a lot brighter red than Jack Mabin. Now, he came spearing around the outside, and he will argue, now further back. Ooh, right, okay. The first car that went off on the outside.
Palmer weaving around, trying to break the slipstream, trying desperately to hold on to the lead. You sort of sense that if he can survive these next few corners, he's got a chance of hanging on to the flag, but there's a gap on the inside, there's a bit of a touch sideways for Ben Palmer, and Gordon could take full advantage of this. Into the race lead goes Jack Mabin, down towards Baggett and Beckett for the first time. Tom Rawlings attacking James McIntyre for the race lead, and gets a bit out of shape through Beckett. This could be McIntyre's immediate opportunity, because with dirt on, he's already cold tyres. The race leader is off, McIntyre on the grass. He's going to bounce his way back on, right in front of the championship contenders. That was very close indeed, and he will plummet outside of the top 10. There'll be a real stack-up effect coming onto the back straight, and we had an incident here in the previous race as well. One car is on the grass down the left-hand side of shot, along with 2 other quick drivers, Lee Patterson and Jack Davidson in the previous race. Oh, but a contact was there. The 31 car of Matthew Wilson gets all out of shape, and Matthew Wilson, who is not the sort of Malcolm Wilson, former rally driver, displaying some rally driver-esque car control, and likewise there. Who was that across the grass? Is that 46, I think? 45 Callum King, no, maybe it was. It was either Callum King or Stuart Gibbs, 45 and 46, getting out of shape through Village, and there's more contact in front of him as he rejoins, and that's Nathan Harrison entering stage left from the grass. Number 20 appears to be destined for the pit lane, so according to my timing screen. Oh, and off has gone Stuart Gibbs again, isn't it? That's 46 that's off at Cobb's Corner this time. 56 is off the road as well, and that's Harry Gooding, unfortunately, from inside the top 10. He was 9th place, but he's dropping down the timing pillar to the left-hand side of your screen. So Ben Palmer into 2nd place, Gordon down to 3rd. This will explain hopefully what happened to Harry Gooding. Up the inside goes Max Bird. This is the move we saw beginning. Oh, and Gooding's car just did not slow down. That's either a brake failure or a stuck throttle, and boom, into the barriers. That's a big hit for Harry Gooding, and I'm glad to see him getting out of that car in one piece. There he is, trudging away through the gravel trap, overtaking the 2 of them. He's actually still maintaining the same pace as the race leader. There's contact, meanwhile, for 131 Sam Sheehan, who gets elbowed out of the way by an errant Mini up the inside, back on cold tyres, and a bit of rather clumsy contact in the midfield, which sent Nathan Harrison way wide over the grass. He rejoined with no contact, no damage, and was able to continue his charge up the order. That's how Stuart Gibbs ended up out of the race. We believe was handed a penalty post-qualifying, which is why he'd dropped down the grid sheet slightly. So he's already tried to make some ground, and sideways down to the hairpin. What on earth was going on there? And who indeed was that? That's Lee Patterson, I think, isn't it? Who launched the race for James Gordon. 3rd is Zelos. Here's a replay. He just missed his braking point, didn't he?
I think the question is, how on earth did he not hit anyone? Because he shot the gap through the middle of Mabin and Dan Zelos. As you say, Zelos very lucky not to get tagged.
Harrison and Gordon then will get even closer. Now that was Gayler, who was already sideways and clattered into somebody else. I have to say, I didn't quite catch the number there. So that was Harrison leads the way, Palmer 2nd, Zelos 3rd, Rawlings 4th, and Lewis Brown down to 5th. Mabin is 6th. On the grass further back, I think that's Matthew Wilson, who very nearly collects the very lucky Callum Newsham on that occasion. His best finish of the year so far from race 2 at Silverstone. That's Josh Stanton inspecting the damage. Now, how did he get it? Well, it looked at first viewing as if Newman lost it and Stanton had nowhere to go. Whether there was contact before that, I know not. Either way, the end result is that Newman's car is in the gravel and the safety car is being scrambled. Newman on the right there, the blue, red and white car, locks up, loses the rear, and, well, Josh Stanton, really, there was no way he could go. He was innocent in all of that. Sadly, takes them both out of the race.
Yeah, the question to what happened to him, did he jump or was he pushed? He jumped.
In 3rd place as they go into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Side by side running there, and we've got a spinner across the circuit goes Alex Neville in the Lawrence Davey prepared. So not too shabby a result for Martin Poole. Doesn't drop any points. He's still 6th in the championships. Might pull him up towards the top 4. And a little tag on the back end of one of the M-Class cars there by Lydia Walmsley as she holds on to it. McConomy is there as well. Now we've got Stuart McLaren looking, and McLaren just going out a little bit and tagging the front end of the 21 car. As through on the inside goes Rob Austin in the 24, but it's Alan Lee, the race leader, in the early stages here as they go side by side. A couple of big wobbles there, and that is Rob Austin, second in the championship, takes the spin. He's on the grass, but he's determined, fires it up. See what sort of recovery he can make. They're in the number 5 car. Massive spin there from the 21 car of Keir McConomy, who spins it away to the inside, comes back out. We've had some massive moments on the opening 2 laps.
James Gornall is watching his big title rivals streak away up the road. He's going up the inside again. He's going to try and get past Harry Gooding, whilst James Lukes does lose third and loses control of the car almost. Goes out into the gravel trap, and James Lukes, after that brilliant qualifying effort, unfortunately it comes to naught here. Rejoy didn't really score that many points at all at Alton Park, but then since then has never been out of the top 6. So after the iffy qualifying section yesterday, oh, that's McIntyre off, James McIntyre off, going into Sheen. How on earth did he end up there? That's an odd place to go off. But if only 1.4 seconds clear now, Nathan Harris said, oh, there wasn't contact. He got a wheel on the grass going into Sheen, which is easy to do in fairness, because the road keeps bearing to the right and you're not really focusing on the left-hand side of your car, you're focusing on the apex on the right-hand side. Easy to drop a wheel on the grass. Will Hardy at Paddock Hill Bend, and that car is very close to the edge of the road, too close to be recovered with a live snatch. How did he do it? Oh, there may have been some assistance there. He was battling away with Stuart Gibbs. It's parked to the side of the road. Right, what happened to Rory Cuff? Touches the curve. Oh, he got a boot from James Lukes, who'd taken a nibble out of the rear bumper through the previous corner, and then did nerf him into a spin. Now, I don't think that was intentional, at least I hope it wasn't, but who was that went off? I can't see the number on the screen in front of me, but someone's been right through the gravel. Here we go, this might piece things together a little bit more. It was someone, they were further back than I thought they were, so I think that was Newnham, wasn't it, 36, that has been off at Paddock Hill Bend. Doesn't happen though. Oh, Lukes is slow off the corner though. Ben Palmer is now fully alongside, but it's the outside line. Oh, there's contact! Oh, they both go off! James Lukes is off with Ben Palmer as well! The top 2 have taken each other off, and James Gornall inherits the race lead. Incredible stuff. James Gornall, you couldn't have scripted that, slips through the drama and gets the lead of the race. Palmer gets to the right-hand side of the road. Now, the road bears left here, and Palmer was almost on the grass anyway. Lukes could have left him more room, and I don't. James Lukes second and Rory Cuff third, whilst James Gornall was in feisty mood already, going up the inside of Richard Newman. Stuart Gibbs was sideways and in the gravel though. Sadly wouldn't make it through the remainder of the first lap, but did adds himself to a reasonably long list of retirements in this one. Here's what happened. Runs off onto the grass, spins back onto the road, overcorrects and nearly goes over, and it's a Nigel Mansell-esque accident, this, isn't it? Because he's going to just slightly less severely than Nigel did all those years ago, but he just wasn't enough though to put him out of the race. Then a lap later, Keenan Dole almost did exactly the same thing, went off the road, and actually by the looks of it, knocked the tyre off the rim. So Keenan Dole did. They head down towards the first corner, and already bits and pieces falling off Rory Cuff's car. That's never a good sign. Zelos is through into third, look ahead of Max Bird, who is sideways and makes contact with James Gornall, who gets airborne and sideswipes Lewis Brown. Brown is the big loser, but is there damage to Gornall's car? He certainly dropped down the order, and the man who won the first race and is second in the championship in big trouble already. He's dropped out to the top 10, and now there's a spin right in front of him. 2 cars, 3 cars go around. It's mayhem down the Craner curves. 1 car rejoining the circuit, gets rear-ended, and this is almost certainly going to be a safety car. And well, cold rear tyres in Mini Challenge are never a good mix, and unfortunately turns in. Oh yeah, big slide. That must have been cold rear tyres, and that's why he slowed down. And then Gornall had to check up and pull to the left-hand side, and unfortunately for him, Lewis Brown got into the back of him. See another replay out of the first lap here, and then through they go. So Gornall gets delayed, look, gets sucked back into the pack, and then who is it in front of him? I think it's Matthew Wilson, is it? Yeah, number 31 is going to be the first car to spin right in front of the yellow machine of Gornall through the Crater curves. Very easy to lose it there on cold tyres. Gornall did well to avoid it, and then several others go around as well. Green machine, that's where the bumper came from, very nearly T-bones Matthew Wilson actually as it's going backwards down the road. And that I think was Tom Rawlings, was it not, that's ended up beached in the gravel, number 88. Basically it's a guaranteed way to spin the car out. Confirmation there though that there was no contact from Gornall to the back of Matthew Wilson. And actually the second accident was already happening really, wasn't it? So look how close Rawlings and Wilson get to touching there, and then Rawlings does get a headbutt from another car there. I think that's Rawlings that was spinning. Anyway, they're all green and black. So here's how it happened then. There's Newman, and up the inside comes Lewis Gayler. Oh, and a big hit. And unfortunately, Josh Stanton, completely innocent in all of that, was minding his own business, ends up getting driven into the tyre wall on the inside. Now, his car appears to have moved, presumably as far as the pit lane, which is where Lewis Gayler has gone as well. If Gordel is 50, he gets 34, so I think they'd be equal on points now because Harrison's scoring 6 more points than him, but that all changes again because James Lamps bounces his way along the grass out of the old hairpin, and Gordel will make a very easy pass around the outside. I think Lamps' Seelos is not improving. Oh, Harrison with a real good exit from the chicane, dives to the inside of Rory Cuff, and James Gordel has to try and go with him, and does go with him, gets to the inside as well. So Harrison goes second, and there's contact there. Rory Cuff locks up and bang into the side of Nathan Harrison, and the championship leader is off the road through no fault of his own at all. James Gordel and Rory Cuff tangled, and Nathan Harrison, would you believe it, is the man that gets elbowed off the road. Dan Zelos is going to take the victory, but James Gordel with the fastest lap and second place will take the championship lead, because remember, Nathan Harrison already had a 23rd place finish he was dropping previous haul. Well, we'll work that out in a second. Here's another replay look. Cuff bang into the back of Gordel, and then just can't stop the car. He's got broken steering, and poor Nathan Harrison, absolutely nothing he could have done to avoid that. And well, that was real drama.
Harrison and Gordel up into, well, still in third place is Jack Davidson, and a little bit of a moment there as going onto the grass goes the 88 car. That is Tom Rawlings. I think he survived that. James Gordel's down to third as they go through the corner. Keenan Dole gets it sideways in treble 7, trying hard, and now looks on the outside line, gets a wheel on the grass. Can he hold the momentum here to get past the Scott? They're side by side. Little bit of rubbing between the pair of them as they come down into Agostini, and he throws the car in but goes sideways opposite lots. Off goes the momentum, off goes Lewis Brown, loses in 1-1-2, but it's Jack Davidson out front. Max Bird in second. Up into third place is Dan Zelos, looking around the outside line. We've got a car on the grass. He's about to, I thought was going to destroy. Got several cars off, and a car stranded. And in second position now, Bird is passed by Nathan Harrison. Harrison up into third place. We're going to have to do a points stock take at the end of this lap. This is still lap number 1, and Harrison is determined to put as many places as he can between himself as Dan Zelos gets tagged and is out of the race and off on the grass. Zelos was challenging for the win. That is Kirk's for his championship. Certainly we spoke about if the top 2 went off, he would be out of it, or he would be with a chance, an outside chance of winning the championship, but it's going to be third place in the standings for him if he can recover and outscore Ben Palmer. Well, I think he probably will, but it's Jack Davidson. Look how close they are on this reverse gear round. James Gordel has contact. Gordel's got contact. Major championship moment, runs wide, and now Max Bird's got contact as well as they go into turn 1, and he's off the track. Now, what's happened to Gordel? We need to know where that yellow and white car is. He needs to finish, because if he doesn't finish and Nathan Harrison does, it will be Harrison's championship. Davidson again, he's got Ben Palmer challenging round the, well, he was looking on the outside line, tucks back in line as goes wide as they come into Nelson. This can afford him a run up the inside line. Very well thought out by Ben Palmer, but they door handle with each other. They're on the grass and get punished for that. And pulling away 1 and 2. Harrison quickest. So at the moment, Harrison is going to pull 7 points back of the championship lead. It's all going very squirrely. Indeed, they're very, oh dear, Davidson off. Very nearly a rollover from Dan Zelos, who had the fastest lap on the previous lap. And they're coming down into the hairpin for the first time and going through James Hillary, but gets it all wide. And coming through is Dominic Wheatley into lead position. Robbie Dalglish is down to third.